Konami Studios. Strange Academy, issue 5. Man, oh man, am I loving this book. I liked every issue so far, but I honestly think this might be my favorite one of the entire series, just because it kind of summed up everything I needed this book to be. It's like a romper with the kids, they're doing some fun stuff, we learn about some more of like the world building that's going on here. It's pretty interesting. Really cool, actually. I love it. I'm really loving it. Like this is like the first time I've read a book about kids in school with magical powers and I've been like, hell yeah, I'm on board for this. And that's why I commemorate Marvel so much, because they really understand how to give you everything you want from their young characters, whether it's Champions or their young X-Men stuff when those were happening. Now in Strange Academy, they understand how to give you some young teenage heroes in a great book. So this story opens up and we are with the crazy lady from a couple issues ago. And it's the fortune teller that was talking to our kids, where Doyle's like, oh, yeah, I'll see my fortune. And he gets the prediction of like his crazy future where he becomes a killer and he's like the dawn of darkness or something. And she's talking with Dr. Voodoo and he's just like, okay, you're having these visions and you're like kind of connected to one of my students. I'm going to try to figure this out and figure out what's happening. I'm sorry, like, this is insane. I don't like the idea of prophecies. We'll figure it out. And she's like, okay, well, good luck with that. Pretty much. Then we cut to Brother Voodoo. I know I said doctor, now I say brother. He's always going to be Brother Voodoo to me. I know we're trying to make him Dr. Voodoo now, but we'll call him Dr. Voodoo. I'll try not to mess up on that. So Dr. Voodoo's talking to Stephen Strange and he's just like, okay, well, this doesn't look good, does it? I don't like that word prophecy, so maybe we don't use it. And that's what I'm really liking about this interpretation of Doctor Strange. He's kind of an asshole, and I really like that. Like when we see him in this book, he's got his feet up on Voodoo's desk. He's like playing with like a Rubik's cube, but it's like a triangle sphere, and you're just like, that's kind of such a dick thing. So he's like, you know, I don't want any of these students thinking they're the one or they're the special one, so we can't have Doyle knowing that maybe he has a destiny or a prophecy. We're gonna figure out a way to stop that. I hate the idea that everything has a reason, and I love that kind of like Voodoo calls him out. He's like, really? How many times have you been a part of like a prophecy where you were the one? It happens all the time. Do you just want to turn these kids into soldiers to fight for you? And he's like, hell no, I don't. And Voodoo's kind of just, you know, I'm here to train them about like their power and how to contain it and how to keep it under control, kind of. And you want to make them into weapons? That's like a bad idea. I'm gonna have to ask you, Strange, where do your priorities lie? And like, fuck yeah, dude, go at him. Voodoo's a way cooler character than Strange anyways. I've always thought that. Look, Stephen Strange is just Tony Stark, but magic. That's all he's ever been. You could even say, I don't know who came first. Was it Tony or Steven that came first? But they're literally the same character, but one's magic and one's technology. That's why they should have a book together called, it should be Their World's Finest. That's a different story. Well, let's move past it. So now we're outside and we are seeing that Jermaine is just playing with Toph in the water. Zoe's on the dock. She's kind of trying to study. And Jermaine is kind of using his powers. This is kind of like the first time we get like a full-on story about Jermaine here, where he's just kind of, he's showing his powers to Toph, like, yeah, I could control these animal spirits, and he's just having a good time with that. And you see these markings on his chest, and I think that's kind of interesting. We're finally seeing him in a different light. And Zoe's like, well, how did you get your powers, or how did you know you had them? So we cut back to a flashback. I think it's one of our first flashbacks of any of the characters. Obviously, we knew about Emily, and we kind of know about Doyle, but now we're seeing some stuff here with Jermaine, and we see him in Mexico. His family wakes up, they find him in his room, and there's like some spirits that are bursting out of his chest while he's sleeping, and they call him a Nahul, and that's like this Mexican tradition of like a shaman or a sorcerer, and how they have like this power that can transform them into like a half man, half animal. So now he's harnessing these spirits. And as they're just having this conversation, he's showing her some of his powers. They find Calvin's jacket in the water. And we cut to Calvin, who's like, he is vined up. He's in the trees by the Hollow. And the Hollow were the villains we saw in the last issue, who I do believe are going to have a bigger impact on parts of the story going forward. Not sure what that's going to be, but I bet they're going to have like some connection to people like Voodoo or Strange, something like that. And Calvin's like, you guys are going to be so upset when my friends come here to save me. And they're like, yeah, we're hoping they come here to save you. Then of course we get all the students and they're just like, really? Like, Calvin's been missing that long and nobody's done anything. And then it kind of just breaks down to an argument because of course somebody, I think it's Eric, that makes a little fun of Emily there. Doyle gets mad and's like, don't you talk to her like that. And then those two start fighting and everybody starts fighting and just becomes like a big deal. And everyone's like, all right, let's stop, okay? We'll just go find Calvin. Like Desi and Shaylee can kind of use like this teleportation thing they were learning so we could go track him down. And everyone's just like, fine, let's do it. So now they go to find him. And I love it that they're just like, well, we're close, but we're not super close. So they end up in this boat and they're just like traveling through the I guess like the swampy area and just trying to figure out where to go. And then they are attacked by some stuff and everybody's freaking out. But before that, I have to mention we get our first indication that yes, Emily is completely aware, not oblivious at all as to the way that Doyle likes her. And I like that you have this like a nice moment where she's like, oh, that's just so cute the way you talk and you do things. And she's like, you know, I'm not dumb. Like, I do notice the things you do. And then, oh, Shaylee's attacked, Alvy's attacked, Toph is attacked, everyone's going down. And then it's Eric, Doyle, and Emily who are just still the last ones there. Emily tells Gus to go get a teacher, which I'm like, yeah, that's smart. Go get a teacher. And they're just getting dragged down to the water. But then when they emerge, they see all of their friends that are standing around the hollow. And they're like, oh my goodness, he's here. The one is here. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who's the one? And we don't really clear up who they're talking about. And that's kind of cool. It's like, well, nobody here is the one. So we're going to move past that idea completely. And then Emily's like, okay, guys, let's just attack them. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, let's do it. So we end the book. They are all about to get into a fight. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty fun next issue. Like, it's going to be really cool. I'm really, really enjoying this book. I didn't think I would. Like, I said it every time an issue came out. I always pictured this was going to be their Harry Potter, but I honestly think it's a little more compelling than Harry Potter just because there's some different repercussions and it's doing some different stuff with like the lore that's already existing in the Marvel universe. So that's something I commemorate and I think it's pretty cool. We also end the book we're looking at Wanda Maximoff's email. I'm like, why? That's kind of weird, but it's just like a random page. I'm gonna put this one up though, just because she gets an email from Magneto at krakoa.mut, and it's like, Wanda, I know I may not be your actual father, but I'd still love to catch up with you and Pietro. Which is like, when did that happen? When did that happen? I thought they were always related, but either way, doesn't matter. It's cool, and that's fun. Like, it's just like a really fun, interesting book. I really like it. Some cool shit's about to come down. I could just feel it in this book, so I'm very excited. I like it a lot, and just you're getting that teenage drama that some people like, and I'm kind of on board with it now. I like Emily enough as a lead where her and Doyle could have some really cool play there. That's going to be cute and interesting. I like it. So, Strange Academy issue 5, I am going to give a 10 out of 10. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.